Thank you. Yeah, what a really wonderful webinar this has been, and really hearing from some very experienced people. But thank you for inviting me to talk about what I do. So I set up a charity called the Centre for Peaceful Solutions in 2006. We registered as a charity, and that really came about because I moved into an area of London, and not long afterwards a 7-year-old girl was fatally shot by a drug dealer round the corner from where I live. And confronted with a grieving community and believing that I had some skills in dialogue, in peacemaking, in conflict resolution, I literally just took to the streets and started asking people what needs to happen here. And over the last, I've been doing this for about 20 years. So over that time, it's grown and grown and grown. And I work in families, workplaces, young people. Basically wherever people gather, there is going to be conflict. No matter how well-intentioned people start out, if you don't build in proper conflict resolution systems and proper systems for fairness and justice and all of those things, fracturing happens, and then arguments escalate and so on and so forth. But our flagship project for the last 4 years has been in Dartmoor Prison. And I wanted to find a prison that would understand that, yes, we can come in and we can work with prisoners and rehabilitate them, which we've proved over and over and over again. But I wanted to find a prison that would actually change its system and its regime to accommodate this work. And so the question was, if you have a big community, and in Dartmoor there's 650 prisoners, why wouldn't you turn over the safety of that community to the majority? And that's a really interesting question. And so what we've ended up with 4 years later, and just before COVID hit, is 25 prisoners trained as dialogue roadmap facilitators. So the communications tool I developed is called the Dialogue Roadmap, who literally help struggling prisoners through one-to-one sessions, mediating conflicts on the wings, and more importantly, running dialogues in circles to attend to the kinds of issues that, if left unattended, can manifest in behaviour, violent behaviour. We managed to make Dartmoor one of the safest jails in the prison estate. Our guys were reaching about 120 prisoners a week. And so what I love to do, and that's an example of what I love to do, is go into communities and share the skills. So I'm not at the forefront of what's going on. I'm literally supporting the people that are going to do this work. And so what's happened is, of course, when you do things for long enough and you do them over and over again well enough, people get to hear about it. Prince Charles even turned up at Dartmoor Prison to have a look, and somehow or other I got an MBE, which is really extraordinary. But now I'm being called to serve in many places. I even have a Native American tribe in Maine who are asking me to come over next year, which is, amazing. I never thought, anything like this would happen. And so I kind of have two things in mind. Well, in terms of what I've got to offer, is there isn't a business or a workplace that can't benefit from these skills. And so I've given workshops in all sorts of, in legal firms, some of the international consultancies, and some of the smaller businesses that we work with. So I give talks, I can do training and consultancy work. And I'm looking at two things. Our cause is particularly difficult to get funding for, because what we do is it's so not obvious. So we made ourselves self-sustainable. And what we do is we have a small chain of 3 charity shops, which bring in a significant amount of funding for us. And obviously then some people give us donations, but we have no grants. We gave up applying for government grants a long time ago. And we don't want to be reliant on that either, because it's like a lottery. And so I'm looking for two things really at that very kind of charity shop level. I'm looking for partners who can donate high quality goods to us that will make such a huge difference that we can sell. And so that, I think, is a really easy ask actually for the right partner who could see the value in that. But then at a bigger end of the scale, I need to get this training online. And so I'm really looking for help to do a GoFundMe campaign, or to the help to get the message out, to raise the money, to build the profile, to get that training online. Because, you know, I'm 60 now and I've got some people coming up the ranks, but actually I want to leave a legacy, and to put this training online for free as our charitable give around the world, I think will have a huge impact in families, communities, workplaces, anywhere that people gather. So that's really my ask. Thank you.
No, thank you, Maria, and thank you for your sort of impassioned plea, and for all the things you've achieved as well. I mean, it sounds absolutely amazing. So well done to you, and well done to all of the charity leaders who've joined us today.
I was just going to say, I'd be very interested in talking to you, Maria, because we ran a project, a pilot project at Medway last year for young offenders. We did a drama project, and we've all been talking about how, you know, we don't have much experience around that area. And that project, for various reasons, had to stop, and we're planning on restarting it. So it would be great to be in touch with you.
Oh, do, yeah, please, please. I'd love to, you know, share whatever I've got to share with you.
Oh, fabulous. So there we go, 2 partnerships in one day.
Thank you.
That's already a good hit rate. I'm really happy for that, and great that we've been able to make some connections today as well. There's also